And then there were 4. It is NFL Championship weekend, which means by the end of Sunday night, we will know who is in the Super Bowl. And today, we're here to tell you who we believe will be the AFC representative, as the Bengals will be taking on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game on Sunday afternoon. This is going to be an instant classic, guys. Last few meetings have been instant classic. We're going to be in store for another one on Sunday. And we're here to break down everything you need to know for this AFC title game and, of course, share our official prediction for who will be moving on to the Super Bowl. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below. We have exclusive content down there for you guys, whether it's our expert picks, whether it's our website, thegridironexpert.com. Go check it out. The link for it all is down in the description to get you through this off season, the rest of this NFL season, and get you ready for fall, because here at the Gridiron Expert, football never stops. So let's take a look at this game, guys. You know, I loved what Joe Burrow said. Loved what Joe Burrow said after they beat the Bills. Better send those refunds. I think a lot of people expected the AFC Championship game to be the Bills and the Chiefs in Atlanta, of course, having to play at a neutral site. And he said, better send those refunds because you can't count the Bengals out. The Bengals dominated the Bills, and now we have an AFC title game rematch from last year. The Bengals played the Chiefs last year in Arrowhead, and Cincinnati won that game on the way to the Super Bowl. So this is going to be a fun game, guys. 2 great offenses, great atmosphere, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. Will the Bengals come out on top again, or will the Chiefs finally get over the hump from last year and get back to the Super Bowl? So let's take a look at the offense, guys. We'll start with the Bengals. This team, led by Joe Burrow, looks dang near unstoppable. They're averaging 26.1 points per game in the regular season. They scored 24 against the Ravens in the wild card matchup, and then dominated the Bills in Buffalo in the snow last week. Scored 27 points in a 17-point victory, had 412 yards of offense. In the playoffs, Joe Burrow is completing over 67% of his passes for over 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's lighting it up. Again, one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. Joe Mixon putting up fantastic numbers this playoffs run as well. 105 yards and a touchdown on the ground against Buffalo last week. You've got Jamar Chase, a 1,000-yard wide receiver. You've got T. Higgins, a 1,000-yard wide receiver. You've got Hayden Hurst at tight end. This is a loaded Bengals offense, guys. And I'll tell you, they're playing as good as anybody in the league right now. On top of that, they are not afraid of Arrowhead Stadium. They just went to Buffalo, won in the snow by 17 points. They have won at Arrowhead before, just like last year when they came back down 21-3 and beat the Chiefs on their home turf in the AFC title game in overtime. They know they can win this game. They're not fazed by anybody or any environment. Nothing is above Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow and this Cincinnati team. Take a look at the Chiefs, though, guys. When you think of maybe who the best offense in the league is, your mind typically goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, because they may have the best quarterback in the league right now in Patrick Mahomes. But will he be 100%? That is the million-dollar question. He suffered that high ankle sprain in their victory over the Jaguars in the divisional round. And while he should be playing in this game, I really do not think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be out of the AFC Championship game. The high ankle sprain probably will limit his mobility. We've seen Mahomes being able to scramble to extend plays. We've seen a couple designed runs for Patrick Mahomes. We've also seen him trying to step into those throws. His mobility and his ability to step into the throws might not be there like it's been all year long. And that's obviously a very big benefit for the Bengals and something to monitor if you're a Chiefs fan, because that, not having that 100% Mahomes doesn't ruin your chances by any means. And 80% Mahomes is better than the majority of the quarterbacks in the league right now, but you need him at 100% for this game against a good Cincinnati defense. But on the year, guys, Mahomes over 5,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, probably going to earn the MVP award, 195 yards and 2 touchdowns versus the Jaguars last week, and he actually sat out a whole drive. And if that, tells you anything about how good this Kansas City team is, he sat out a drive. Chad Henne comes in, leads the Chiefs 98 yards down the field, puts it in the end zone. So I'm not saying that you want Chad Henne in this AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl or whatever, but he clearly is more than capable of delivering when needed. So Chiefs fans have faith. But outside of Mahomes, you've got Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the game right now. He had 98 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Jags. You had 144 rushing yards last week against the Jaguars, led by Isaiah Pacheco, who's been just a do-it-all player this year. They're an offense, Kansas City, that can match the Bengals step for step. And ironically, we really haven't seen many high-scoring games between these two. 27-24 Bengals in the regular season this year, 27-24 Bengals last year in the AFC Championship game. So not really any shootouts by any means, but what the Bengals can do, the Chiefs also can do, and vice versa. Defensively, that's where the games are decided, right? Who makes the biggest plays defensively when you have two of the best offenses in the league? Everybody wants to talk about Joe Burrow and how good the Bengals offense is, and they are. They are good. But I think people are underrating this Bengals defense. The Bengals guys are on a 10-game winning streak. They've won 10 straight games. They've held 9 of their opponents to 24 points or less during that winning streak, and that includes the Chiefs. Bengals won in Cincinnati 27-24. They held the Chiefs to 24 points. 9 of the 10 opponents during their win streak have been held to 24 points or less. That's pretty dang amazing. And in that first meeting, they held Kansas City to 349 yards, just 211 passing yards, and forced a big-time turnover. Last week, against another great offense, another great quarterback in the Bills and Josh Allen, the Bengals held the Bills to 10 points, held them to 325 yards, and just 63 yards on the ground. That's going to be the key, is consistently getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes, who will not be nearly as mobile because the Bengals were rushing Josh Allen a lot, had him under duress for the majority of the day in Buffalo last week, and then also making sure the Chiefs are one-dimensional. If you limit the ground game, you kind of make Isaiah Pacheco a non-factor in this game. Mahomes can do it by himself. We've seen that, but can he do it with a potential bum ankle? That is kind of the storyline to watch going into this one. For the Chiefs, their defense, not bad by any means either, right? They've allowed 21.7 points per game on the year, 221 passing yards per game, 107 rushing yards per game, and the numbers all season long have been pretty dang solid. There's a reason Kansas City is the number 1 seed in the AFC. But the key for Kansas City in this game is to make sure the Bengals are not balanced. We saw a very balanced attack last week against Buffalo for Cincinnati. We have seen Joe Burrow deliver time and time again. The X factor for me in this game is Joe Mixon. That is the X factor here. Will Joe Mixon rush for over 100 yards like he did against a stingy Buffalo defense, or will Kansas City shut that down? Because against the Jaguars last week, Kansas City allowed Jacksonville to have 349 yards, including 144 rushing yards. 144 yards on the ground from the Jaguars. If Joe Mixon gets going and he tops that 100-yard mark, we know that Joe Burrow can deliver. We know he's going to put up some big-time numbers, which means that the Bengals are going to be able to be balanced. They can do whatever they want to this Chiefs defense, and Kansas City's going to struggle to get themselves off the field. In the first meeting earlier this year, Kansas City allowed 431 yards to the Bengals, including over 150 on the ground. They have to limit that. Again, we know Mahomes can air it out. The passing game is not an issue for either team. Really, it comes down to who can dominate the line of scrimmage, who can run the ball. The Bengals proved they could do that last week against the Bills. They proved they could do that back in the regular season when they played Kansas City in Cincinnati. Have to find a way to slow down Joe Mixon. Have to find a way to take away the balance for the Bengals. So what's going to happen in this game, guys? I mean, this is kind of the beginning of a rivalry, right? Joe Burrow has never lost to Patrick Mahomes. They're 3-0 against the Chiefs since Burrow has arrived. Second straight AFC Championship meeting between the two. Number 1 seed, number 3 seed. Bengals looking to get back to the Super Bowl and finally win one. Chiefs playing in their 5th straight AFC Championship game, but have only been to 2 Super Bowls. Won one, lost one. What's going to happen? I can tell you guys this. I am not picking against Joe Burrow. I have had the Bengals as my Super Bowl team since the playoffs began. When the playoffs were set, I said the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl, and I'm not changing that pick now. They are playing some of the best ball, if not the best ball, in the NFL right now. They are on a completely different level right now. And for some reason, even though we know how great the Bengals are, they're playing with this chip on their shoulder. They feel disrespected. Send those refunds, because all you're doing is talking about the Chiefs. All you're doing is talking about the Bills. What about us? What about the team that went to the Super Bowl last year and won the AFC? People seem to just kind of disrespect them. They're on a 10-game winning streak. They're not scared of Patrick Mahomes. They're not scared of Arrowhead Stadium. And with a less than 100% Patrick Mahomes, give me the Bengals and their underrated defense to come through clutch in this one. Cincinnati will go back to the Super Bowl, and they'll either take on the 49ers in a a rematch from some Super Bowls in the 80s, or we'll see a fantastic offensive showdown with the Bengals and the Eagles. That prediction from us coming out tomorrow right here on the Gridiron Expert, where we do have Cincinnati going to their second straight Super Bowl under Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, and doing so by beating the Chiefs for the second year in a row. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. Football does not stop. Football does not die here at the channel. If you love it and you want it year-round, this is the place for you. So again, subscribe to us here at the Gridiron Expert. Check it out. Our website, thegridironexpert.com. You do not want to miss the offers that we have for you in the coming months. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.